A hospital in Coral Gables, Florida, January 10, 2025. The morning passes quietly as the sun filters through the curtains of a private room. An 89-year-old man rests after spinal compression surgery. Machines record his every heartbeat. But something goes wrong. Post-operative complications are progressing in his body. His wife, Joyce, who has been his anchor for more than 4 decades, is by his side. The woman who saved him from heroin, who rebuilt his career, who fought for his rights when the music industry abandoned him. That Friday morning, Samuel David Moore closed his eyes for the last time. And with him, one of the most powerful voices ever to emerge from American soul is silenced. The phones start ringing. Jeremy Westby, his publicist, prepares the statement. Within hours, the music world reacts. Bruce Springsteen wrote on Instagram, "We on East Street are devastated by the death of Sam Moore, one of America's greatest soul voices." Stephen Van Zandt, his bandmate, added, "He and Dave Prater were the inspiration for Johnny and me to form Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes." Chuck D., John Bon Jovi, Nile Rodgers. They all share the same feeling. A giant has passed away. But who was Sam Moore really? How did a kid from Miami become the voice behind one of the most important anthems of the civil rights movement? October 12, 1935. Miami, Florida. A vibrant African-American neighborhood, but one marked by segregation. Samuel David Moore is born, the son of a Baptist deacon, into a family where faith and music are inseparable. On Sundays, the church fills with voices. Gospel is the emotional language of its community. Sam grows up amidst hymns, rhythmic clapping, and the religious fervor that shakes the walls of the temple. There he learns that singing is not just about producing notes. It's about bearing witness, preaching without words, conveying something deeper than any sermon. He's talented. He knows it. Everyone knows it. One night, at a local Miami club, Sam sees Jackie Wilson perform. The way Wilson commands the stage, the power of her voice, the way the audience completely surrenders itself, Sam feels a revelation. She no longer wants to just sing gospel in churches. She wants to make soul, rhythm, and blues, to bring that spiritual emotion to nightclubs, to radio stations, to all of America. She starts singing in small groups, like the Sensational Hummingbirds. She travels, performs, and learns her craft on modest stages. But something is missing. She hasn't yet found her place. 1961. The King of Hearts Club, Miami. Sam Moore is on stage when a man awkwardly walks up. Dave Prater, a cook by trade, is also a gospel veteran. Prater tries to sing a Jackie Wilson song, but forgets the lyrics. He stumbles. The audience begins to get impatient. Sam, from the stage, sings the forgotten lines to him. Prater responds. And in that instant, something unexpected is born. A natural vocal exchange, a perfect call-in response, as if their voices had been designed to intertwine. Producer Henry Stone is in the audience. He sees potential. He signs them to Roulette Records. Sam and Dave have just been born. The following years are tough. They record 6 singles for Roulette Records. None of them chart. The vocal chemistry is there, but something is missing. The right sound, the right equipment, the right songs. The relationship between Sam and Dave is volatile from the start. Opposing personalities. Sam is extroverted, charismatic, a natural showman. Dave is reserved, introverted, but with a deep and powerful baritone voice. Offstage, they barely speak. The tension is mounting. But when they sing together, the magic is undeniable. 1964. Jerry Wexler, the legendary Atlantic Records producer, hears Sam and Dave perform. He recognizes their talent immediately, but knows that Atlantic isn't the right place for them. There's another style. Rawer, more authentic, more connected to Southern soul. Stax Records, Memphis, Tennessee. Wexler signed them to Atlantic, but loaned them to Stax for recording and production. It was a decision that would change the history of soul music. November 1965. Sam and Dave travel to Memphis for the first time. They enter the Stax Records studio on Macklemore Avenue, a converted movie theater building. The walls exude history. There, 2 young composers and producers hungry for success await them, Isaac Hayes and David Porter. And a band that will define the sound of a generation, Booker T and the MGs. Sam Moore doesn't know it yet, but he's about to record the first hit of a series that will turn him into a legend. But before glory comes hell. The Stack studio is unlike anything Sam and Dave have ever seen. There are no frills. It's a raw, organic space. The wooden floor creaks. Microphones pick up every breath. Isaac Hayes, a young pianist with dark glasses and an intense gaze, sits at the piano. David Prater, his songwriting partner, observes everything attentively. Together they form a lethal team. Hayes writes the music, Prater the lyrics. Both understand soul music from the inside out. Booker T. Jones, Steve Cropper, Donald Duck Dunn, and Al Jackson Jr. make up Booker T. and the MGs, the house band. White and black musicians working together, something unusual in the segregated South of the 1960s. That's the sound of Stax. Racial integration through music. November 1965. Hayes and Prater introduced the first song, You Don't Know Like I Know. It's direct, energetic, with a catchy rhythm. Sam hears the melody and immediately understands how to approach it. He steps into the microphone. His high-pitched voice, a pure tenor, cuts through the air. Dave responds with his deep baritone. The call-in response they discovered by accident in Miami now has a purpose, a structure. The recording is done in a single take. That's how Stax works, like a live show. No studio tricks. Pure raw emotion. The single is released. And something happens. The song works. It's not an explosive hit, but it is the beginning of something powerful. April 1966. Hold on. I'm coming. The song came about spontaneously. David Prater was in the studio bathroom when Hayes asked him if he was ready. Prater shouted, Hold on. I'm coming. They both looked at each other and knew that line was pure gold. They record it. Sam takes the lead vocals on the first verse. Dave joins in on the chorus. Steve Cropper strums his guitar with force. The horns explode. It's explosive, urgent, irresistible soul. Hold on. I'm Coming reaches number 1 on the R&B charts. Number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100. Sam and Dave become an unstoppable force. The following months are a whirlwind. You Got Me Hummin' in 1966. When Something Is Wrong with My Baby in 1967. Every song is a hit. 10 consecutive hits on the R&B charts. On stage, Sam and Dave are electrifying. No rehearsed choreography like the Temptations or the Four Tops. Just pure energy, sweat, and screams. Sam jumps, runs around the stage, interacts with the audience. Dave provides the solid vocal foundation. They're called Double Dynamite. This Sultans of Sweat. When they perform in Stax's legendary Soul Review alongside Otis Redding, they steal the show. Even Otis, the undisputed king of Stax, acknowledges their stage presence. Isaac Hayes is at home, watching the evening news. The images on the screen show Detroit in flames. The 12th Street riots have left the city devastated. Buildings burned, businesses looted. It's the summer of love for some, but for the African-American community, it's a summer of rage and despair. Hayes notices something in the images. Some buildings were left untouched. The African-American owners wrote a word on the facades in white paint. Soul. Soul. Alma. Like the biblical account of Passover, when the Israelites marked their doorposts to be passed over by the angel of death, Hayes sees a powerful parallel. Call David Prater. They have to write a song about this. Hayes and Prater sit down to work. The idea is clear: to turn soul into a symbol of pride, resilience, and overcoming adversity. They didn't want a direct protest song. They wanted something more subtle, more universal. A story of struggle to rise above circumstances. As Prater later explained, a motivational song for people, especially black people at that time, but also for anyone who felt they had something inside that gave them the strength to reach the next level. They write the verses. They include references. I was educated at Woodstock. They're not referring to the 1969 festival, which doesn't yet exist, but to the Woodstock Training School, a segregated vocational school in Tennessee. It's a nod to the importance of education. The melody is perfect, an irresistible, funky rhythm, with room for Memphis's horns and Hayes's piano. September 1967. Stax Studio. Booker T. Jones isn't here. He's away at university. But the rest of the MGs are ready. Steve Cropper on guitar, Duck Dunn on bass, Al Jackson Jr. on drums. Isaac Hayes on piano. Sam steps up to the microphone. He sings the first verse with confidence, overflowing energy. Coming to you on a dusty road. His voice rises, falls, shouts, testifies. In the middle of the song, a shout is heard. "Play it, Steve." It's Sam, encouraging Steve Cropper. That spontaneous moment made it into the final recording. Pure chemistry. They recorded 2 versions that day. One with a more enthusiastic Sam at the beginning, another more restrained. Both were eventually released. September 9th, 1967. Soul Man enters the Billboard Hot 100 at number 79. A week later, it reaches the R&B charts. It's rising fast. Number 2 on the Hot 100. Number 1 on R&B for 5 consecutive weeks. Only kept from the top spot on the Hot 100 by Lulu's to Sir with Love. Soul Man became the most successful single in Stax history up to that point. But with massive fame come internal tensions. Success brings money, and money brings problems. Because Sam Moore is about to discover that the price of stardom is higher than he ever imagined. February 1968. The Grammy Awards. Soul Man wins Best Rhythm and Blues Performance by a vocal or instrumental group. Sam and Dave take the stage. The lights shine. The applause thunders. It's the peak of his career. But behind the smiles and the success, the cracks are already there. The relationship between Sam Moore and Dave Prater has always been complicated. On stage, they're like musical brothers. Off stage, they barely speak to each other. Incompatible personalities. Sam is sociable and likes attention. Dave is darker, reserved, and introverted. Both have big egos. And then there are the substances. Sam starts using heroin and cocaine. He spends $400 a day on drugs. The pressure of stardom, the constant touring, the lack of rest. It all adds up. Dave has his own demons. In 1968, he shot and wounded his wife during a domestic dispute. Sam recalls that moment years later. "I told him, I'll sing, but I'll only sing." Our relationship never recovered from that. 1968 brings another devastating blow. Stax Records and Atlantic Records have ended their distribution agreement. Sam and Dave are now exclusive Atlantic artists, meaning they can no longer work with Isaac Hayes, David Porter, or the Stax musicians. They're recording new singles for Atlantic. But something's missing. The sound isn't the same. The Memphis magic is gone. The songs are charting low or not at all. The empire they built is crumbling. Sam can't take it anymore. The tensions with Dave are unbearable. The numbers are dropping. Touring is becoming a nightmare. In June of 1970, Sam officially broke up with Dave. He formed his own act, Sam Soul Together 1970 Review, with singer Brenda Jo Harris and a 16-piece orchestra. He released 3 singles for Atlantic between 1970 and 1971. King Curtis, the legendary saxophonist, is producing his first solo album. The recordings are progressing well. Sam feels he can finally have a career of his own. But fate is cruel. King Curtis is murdered outside his apartment building in New York City. An argument with a drug addict turns violent. Curtis is stabbed to death at the age of 37. Sam Moore's album is shelved. Atlantic decides not to release it. Without King Curtis, without momentum, Sam finds himself in professional limbo. That's Mount. Opportunities vanish. August 1971. 1 month after the assassination of King Curtis. Sam gets a call. Dave Prater wants to meet. Sam needs money. Dave needs Sam. They reunite. They perform together again. But Sam described it this way years later. "For 12 years we worked together, but our lives were completely separate. They didn't travel together. They didn't have dinner together. They just went on stage, sang, got paid, and left." It is a purely transactional relationship. The 70s were an uneven decade. Sam and Dave recorded sporadically. They performed on nostalgia tours, oldie circuits, and cruises. The album Back at Cha in the mid-70s was a commercial failure. The industry saw them as obsolete. Sam continues to use drugs. He suffers 2 near-fatal overdoses. He loses control. One day he tells his dealer, "I'm not coming back." He thinks he can quit on his own. But addiction doesn't work that way. The withdrawal symptoms hit him like a train. Sweats, backaches, and stomach pains. Like a brutal flu. 1979. An unexpected call. John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, 2 comedic actors from the show Saturday Night Live, have recorded a version of Soul Man under the name of the Blues Brothers. The song becomes a massive hit. Sam has mixed feelings. On the one hand, the exposure renews interest in the original song. On the other, it bothers him that people associate Soul Man with white comedians instead of with him and Dave. I hope that one day someone will say, it was Sam and Dave who sang it, not John and Danny, Sam says years later. But there is something positive. Thanks to the Blues Brothers, Sam and Dave have a second chance. Or at least that's what it seems. Sam Moore is touring Europe with other soul artists like Wilson Pickett. It's a nostalgic tour, small but worthwhile. Somewhere in Europe, he meets Joyce McRae. She works as an administrative assistant for Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson's father. She is intelligent, strong, and perceptive. Sam tries to hide his addiction from her. He tells her the injections are vitamin B. Joyce isn't stupid. She figures it out quickly. But instead of walking away, she decides to help him. Joyce gives her an ultimatum. Either she goes to rehab or she's leaving. Sam is devastated, but he knows he has to choose. He's lost too much already. His career, his health, his dignity. Except, they married in 1982 in Europe. Joyce became his manager and his savior. She enrolls him in a rehabilitation program with naltrexone, an antibiotic. It's painful. The first few days are hell. But Joyce is there, steadfast. 1983. Sam Moore does something few artists do. He makes his addiction public. Not only does he admit it, but he becomes an active advocate against drugs. He volunteers at helplines and rehabilitation clinics. She wants her pain to serve a purpose. She wants other young people to avoid making her mistakes. December 31st, 1981. The Old Waldorf, San Francisco. Sam and Dave perform together for the last time. It's New Year's Eve. After the show, they part ways forever. They don't speak to each other. They don't say goodbye. Sam recalls, when I quit in 1981, I told him I wanted to get out of this shit and that afterwards we could do some specials or something. But he was so hurt that he hired an imposter and called it Sam and Dave. Dave Prater hired Sam Daniels in 1982 to play the part of Sam. Prater toured as Sam and Dave, or New Sam and Dave Review. Sam Moore is furious. He begins a legal battle. He obtains court orders preventing Prater from performing under the name Sam and Dave in certain cities. But there are no national laws that completely prohibit it. Sam forms an organization, Artists and Others Against Imposters. He testifies before Congress in 1989. He wants to protect original artists from being replaced by copies. Sam struggles to find steady work during the 1980s. Promoters want Sam and Dave. Sam wants to be a solo artist. I did a lot of cruises, a lot of oldies shows, he recalls. I even had to audition for some shows. But you shut your mouth, get on stage, and sing as loud as you can, collect the little money you get, and keep going, trying to pay the bills. I laugh about it now, but at the time it was very serious. Joyce is his anchor. Not only does she keep him sober, but she also becomes his manager and advocate. They work together to fight for artists' rights, royalties, and pensions. April 9th, 1988. Dave Prater is driving his car at high speed on Georgia Highway 32. He's coming from a performance in Atlanta. He's on his way to Isilla, his hometown, to visit his mother. He is accompanied by Charmaine Marks, his girlfriend and manager. He loses control of the vehicle. The car leaves the road, travels 224 feet out of control, and strikes several trees. It hangs 65 feet in the air, flipped over from end to end. Dave is ejected from the car. His body hits a pine tree. He dies instantly. He is 50 years old. Charmaine survives with serious injuries. Sam receives the news. He feels as if he has lost a brother. But there is also pain mixed with regret. From the time I left him in 1981 until Dave died in 1988, I didn't speak to him, he confesses years later. There was never any reconciliation. There was never any forgiveness. Dave Prater will be posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992. But for Sam, the most important relationship of his life ended without closure. And now he must continue alone. Sam Moore receives an unexpected call. Lou Reed, the legendary rocker from the Velvet Underground, wants to record Soul Man with him for the soundtrack of a film of the same name. It's an unusual but powerful collaboration. The version reached number 30 in the UK charts. Sam is back on the map. April 1988. Sam joins the Elwood Blues Review, which features Dan Aykroyd and the Blues Brothers Band. Despite his reservations about the Blues Brothers version, Sam acknowledges that the film kept the song alive. And now he can capitalize on that exposure. He acted alongside Junior Walker in the 1988 film Tapeheads, playing a fictional duo called the Swanky Modes. It was one of the few times Motown and Stax artists collaborated on screen. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Sam Moore and Dave Prater, posthumously, are inducted. Sam takes the stage, visibly moved. He brings Isaac Hayes and David Porter with him to acknowledge their contributions. He also invites David Prater Jr., Dave's eldest son, to honor his former bandmate. It's a bittersweet moment. Glory comes late. Dave isn't there to experience it. Sam begins to rebuild his career. He no longer seeks to be a superstar. He seeks respect, dignity, and consistent work. In 1992, he sang backing vocals on 3 songs from Bruce Springsteen's album Human Touch, Soul Driver, Real World, and Man's Job. It is the beginning of a deep friendship. In 1994, he recorded Rainy Night in Georgia with Conway Twitty. The song reached the top 10 on the country charts and earned them a platinum record and 2 CMA Award nominations. Sam discovers he can cross genres. Soul, rock, country. His voice is versatile enough. 1993. Sam discovers something devastating. Despite his multi-million-dollar record sales, his annual pension is only $2,285. He's outraged. If you profit from me, give me something in return. Don't give me cornbread and tell me it's cake, he declares. She joined a group of artists suing the recording industry for pension fraud. The Rhythm and Blues Foundation awarded her the Pioneer Award in 1991 in recognition of her activism. Joyce, his wife and manager, fights alongside him. They defend artists' rights, fair royalties, and pension payments. 1998. Sam appears in the sequel to The Blues Brothers. He plays Reverend Morris. He fulfills a childhood dream, to be a preacher. He sings John the Revelator with gospel fervor. It's a full circle, from church choir to secular soul, and back to gospel on the big screen. 2002. Director D.A. Pennebaker releases the documentary Only the Strong Survive about soul legends. Sam is one of the main characters. He speaks openly about his addiction, his struggle, and his recovery. He holds nothing back. The documentary is selected for the Cannes and Sundance Film Festivals. A new generation discovers Sam Moore. 2002. After 30 years archived, the album that Sam recorded in 1971 finally sees the light. Plenty Good Lovin', produced by King Curtis and featuring Aretha Franklin on piano, is officially released. USA Today gives it 4 stars. Critics call it a lost gem of soul music. Sam Moore, at 67, proves that he was never just one half of Sam and Dave. He was always complete. Convention Hall, New Jersey. It's the holiday season. Bruce Springsteen is hosting his traditional benefit concerts. Special guests rotate each night. But tonight is different. Springsteen takes the microphone with visible enthusiasm. We have with us tonight the best soul singer on the planet. So hold on to your glasses, damn it, because here comes Mr. Sam Moore. Sam takes the stage. He's wearing a sparkly suit. The band kicks off with Soul Man. And for the next few minutes, the convention hall shakes. The friendship between Sam and Bruce has deepened over the years. They collaborated on the album Human Touch in the early 90s. But now it's something more. Bruce deeply respects Sam as an artist and as a person. Steven Van Zandt, guitarist for the E Street Band, also admires him. Our band was formed under the influence of Sam and Dave. May 2006. Sam releases his first studio album in 35 years. Overnight Sensational. The title is ironic. Sam Moore was never an overnight success. It was all work, pain, struggle, falls, and resurrections. The album features stellar collaborations with Bruce Springsteen, Sting, John Bon Jovi, Mariah Carey, Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones, John Legend, and Zucchero. Producer Randy Jackson, yes, the same one from American Idol, is at the helm. The album opens with I'm Gonna Get Your Love, a duet with Bruce Springsteen. Then comes Mornin', a duet with Mariah Carey. Sam's voice, at 71, remains powerful, emotive, and full of life. The reviews are impressive. John Perrells of the New York Times writes that Sam sings each song with all the wisdom and skill he accumulated during a lifetime on stage, with a tone and vibrato that go straight to the nervous system. But the album isn't selling. The media barely covers it. Sam, now in his 70s, doesn't have the same access to mainstream radio. However, it doesn't matter. The album exists. It's a testament to his talent. And that's enough. 2009. Bruce Springsteen invites Sam to open his Working on a Dream tour. Sam performs in more than 20 shows in major cities: New York, Philadelphia, Boston, London. Every night he sings in front of thousands of Springsteen fans. In early 2009, we were lucky enough to tour with Bruce Springsteen, Sam recalls. It was 23 shows, and they treated us fantastically. Bruce even invites him to sing 10th Avenue Freeze Out together at several shows. The chemistry between them is palpable. Despite collaborations and the respect of his peers, Sam continues to fight for institutional recognition. Their problem is generational. Young people know Soul Man, but many don't know who sang it. Some think it was James Brown. Others think it was Wilson Pickett. And that hurts. I hope that one day someone will say, it was Sam and Dave who sang it, not John and Danny, he declared in an interview. October 2012. Sam performs in a tribute to producer Jerry Wexler at Lincoln Center in New York. Wexler, who died in 2008, was the man who brought him to Stax. Without him, Sam and Dave would never have existed as we know them. Sam sings Soul Man with renewed emotion. Among the audience are other giants of soul. They all know what Wexler meant. 2013. Sam releases his second solo album, Encore, the very best of Sam Moore. It's not new material. It's a collection of his best collaborations and solo recordings. A summary of his career after Sam and Dave. Sam still performs sporadically. Small clubs, nostalgia tours, private events. She doesn't have the same energy level as before. Her back aches. Her legs don't respond like they used to. But her voice is still there. Hoarser, more tired, but her soul remains intact. February 11th, 2018. The Grammy Awards at Madison Square Garden. Sam Moore receives the Lifetime Achievement Award for his contribution to music. He is 82 years old. He has outlived Dave Prater, Isaac Hayes, King Curtis, and Otis Redding. He has outlived addiction, bankruptcy, and oblivion. When she goes on stage, her eyes get wet. My wife Joyce saved my life, he says. And I want everyone to know that. But there's something no one knows yet. His health problems are just beginning. Sam begins to experience chronic pain in his back and legs. Doctors diagnose spinal compression. It's the result of decades of performances. The jumps, the abrupt movements, the intense choreography. It all takes its toll. Joyce accompanies him to his medical appointments. The doctors recommend surgery, but Sam is reluctant. He's 84 years old. What's the point of risking surgery at that age? But the pain gets worse. Sam never received the royalties he deserved. The Stax Records catalog has been sold and resold multiple times. Each transaction benefits corporations and lawyers, but not the original artists. Joyce, as manager and advocate, fights tirelessly. She files lawsuits. She speaks with copyright lawyers. She negotiates settlements. But most of the original contracts were signed under exploitative terms. Sam didn't have proper legal representation in the 60s. He signed whatever was put in front of him. The music industry was built on the exploitation of black artists. And Sam is just one of many. March 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic paralyzes the world. For Sam, 84, the risk is enormous. He remains in isolation at his Coral Gables home with Joyce. He can't perform. He can't see friends. Phone calls become his only connection to the outside world. But the back pain doesn't go away. It only gets worse. With the free time of the pandemic, Sam accepts some online interviews. He talks about his career, his legacy, and his relationship with Dave Prater. We worked together for 12 years, but our lives were completely separate, he recalls. We were never friends offstage. And that's something that still hurts. He also talks about addiction. I was spending $400 a day on drugs. I had 2 near-fatal overdoses. If Joyce hadn't intervened, I'd be dead. His honesty is disarming. He hides nothing. Sam sadly observes how the music industry celebrates modern soul without mentioning its pioneers. Artists like Bruno Mars, The Weeknd, and Anderson .Paak make contemporary soul. But few acknowledge the debt owed to artists like Sam Moore, Otis Redding, and Wilson Pickett. Our generation laid the foundations, Sam says in an interview. But sometimes it seems like we've been forgotten. The pain becomes unbearable. Sam can barely walk without help. Joyce insists she needs surgery. There is no other option. Sam finally agrees. They schedule the surgery for early 2025. December 2024. Sam begins to subtly say goodbye to friends and colleagues. He calls Bruce Springsteen. They talk for an hour. Sam thanks him for his friendship, for keeping him relevant when others forgot him. "I owe you more than I can express," he tells her. Bruce replies, "Sam, you're the reason I make music." January 7th, 2025. Coral Gables, Florida. Sam Moore is admitted to a hospital for spinal compression surgery. Joyce signs the consent forms. The doctors explain the risks: postoperative complications, infections, bleeding. Sam nods. He's ready. The surgery is proceeding. Initially, everything is going well. But then something goes wrong. January 10th, 2025. Hospital in Coral Gables. Postoperative complications are progressing rapidly. The doctors are doing everything they can, but Sam's body, at 89 years old, is not responding as they had hoped. Joyce is by his side, holding his hand. She knows time is running out. In the morning, Samuel David Moore passed away. The man who turned pain into anthem, adversity into art, struggle into soul. The news spreads quickly. Jeremy Westby, his publicist, confirms his death. Media phones are ringing off the hook. Bruce Springsteen posted on Instagram, "We on E Street are devastated by the death of Sam Moore, one of America's greatest soul voices. Working with Sam on Overnight Sensational and having him tour with us in 2009 were great honors. It was a joy to call him a friend." Stephen Van Zandt writes, "He and Dave Prater were the inspiration for Johnny and me to form Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes, one of the greatest voices and greatest soul bands of all time." Chuck D. of Public Enemy tweets, "R.I.P. Sam Moore. The soul legend, one half of Sam and Dave. John Bon Jovi, Nile Rodgers, Questlove. They all share their respect." Sam Moore leaves behind an indelible legacy. 15 consecutive R&B chart hits during the 60s. Soul Man, an anthem that transcends generations. A Grammy Award. Induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A Lifetime Achievement Award. But beyond the awards, he left something more valuable. Living proof that it is possible to fall and get back up, to get lost in drugs and find redemption, to be forgotten and return. Soul Man continues to play. At weddings. In commercials. In movies. In Spotify playlists. Every time someone sings, "I'm a soul man," they are invoking Sam Moore. His voice, recorded in 1967, remains eternal. It freezes a moment in time. A black man in the segregated South, singing with pride about his identity, his struggle, his resistance. Joyce McRae Moore, his wife of more than 40 years, becomes the guardian of his legacy. She was the one who saved him, the one who kept him sober, the one who fought for his rights, the one who defended him when the industry ignored him. Now, he must make sure the world remembers who Sam Moore was. Not just one half of Sam and Dave. Not just the singer of Soul Man, but a complete man. Complex. Imperfect. Human. Sam Moore taught several lessons. That success doesn't protect you from falling. That stardom can be as destructive as it is redemptive. That musical relationships aren't always friendships. That addiction doesn't discriminate. That redemption is possible. That love can save you. That it's never too late to start over. Her life was a symphony of highs and lows. But in the end, she found peace. The ceremony is private. Only close family and close friends are present. Bruce Springsteen attends. So does John Bon Jovi. Some Stax veterans who are still alive. Musicians who played with him. Joyce speaks briefly. She thanks everyone who accompanied Sam on his journey. Sam always said that his greatest achievement wasn't Soul Man, she recalls, tears welling in her eyes. It was surviving. Finding love. Making peace with his past. Today, when someone hears Soul Man for the first time, they feel something. An irresistible rhythm. A voice that rasps. An energy that never ages. They don't know that behind that song there is a story of racial segregation, urban riots, classmates who were never friends, destructive addiction, redeeming love, and decades of struggle. They only know that that voice moves them. And that, in the end, is Sam Moore's true legacy. His voice lives on. In every music player. In every soul chart. In every karaoke bar. Samuel David Moore died on January 10th, 2025, at the age of 89. But the Soul Man is immortal.